Ah,
Welcome to our Sunday service. This is Reverend Deborah Johnson with Light Ministries. Sorry for a little technical delay there, but so glad to have you with us this gorgeous, beautiful Mother's Day. So we do a shout out right now to all of the mothers and to all of those who have done any mothering. That includes a lot of the fellas out there. This is always an interesting time. I say it's not always a hallmark moment for everybody. I know growing up in my church, they used to give us little carnations coming to the door, and we wore a red carnation if our mother was still on this earth plane, and a white carnation if our mothers had already crossed over. So we recognize in this moment that this may be a time of grief and sadness as well for some people if your mom's no longer with you. But be that as it may, we've all been mothered by somebody, somewhere, somehow. And because of that, we're all here. So whether it was pretty or not, say thank you. Show some gratitude. And it's never too late. It's never too late. I don't care where they exist, this side of the veil or the other. Find some way deep in your heart today to reach out and to express some gratitude. I am so thrilled to have with us today in co-ministry the renowned Karen Drucker. You know, there are those people in the movement who help define a movement. She is such a prolific songwriter that I hardly know of any really progressive church in the New Thought movement, at least, that's not using her music, even if you don't realize that it's her music that you're using. And I'll say a little bit more about her later. But I'm letting you know, this is heads up. We have agreed that we're going to do kind of a flowetry. So we'll just see what happens here. And we are enjoying being able to just play together. So if suddenly you hear her piano playing or her singing in the background and you don't see her face, it's all good. We're rolling with the spirit. So just roll with us. Karen.
yeah. Thank you, Deborah. It's so nice to be here. God, in one of my favorite churches. It's just, I love Innerlight. And so it's thrilling to be with you all today. So yay. Oh, so did you go over to me? You want me to sing a song, Deborah?
Yes.
You just went away. Okay. I'm going to sing you a song. Okay. So welcome, everybody. So here's the deal. I want you to sing with me. And so if anyone ever told you couldn't sing, you know, you're in your own room by yourself, I want you to sing. So I'm going to teach you a brand new song of mine. This is brand new. So I just decided I was going to take a line from the Course in Miracles that says, I could see peace instead of this. So given what we're all going through right now, I am choosing peace. So let me teach it to you. It goes like this. I could see peace instead of 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 this. All right, you sing with me now. I'm gonna do those 4 lines again. I could see peace, just declare it, instead of this. Right now I'm choosing. I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this. Technical issues, whatever. I could see peace instead of this. When I feel lost and I don't know where to go, it's always up to me, because we know this. What I focus on will grow. And I could choose love or I could choose fear. But if I want to be happy, the answer's so clear that I could choose peace instead of this. Yeah, I can see peace now. Stay with me. I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this. And I could see peace instead of this. A little bit more now. When I'm feeling trouble and I'm feeling so alone, you know what? Love is always with me, and that grace will bring me home. Love is the healer, and love is all I see. And each and every day, love is who I want to be. So I could see love instead of this. Every day now. I could see love instead of this. I could see love instead of this, yeah. And I could see love instead of this. All right, let's declare peace one more time. Say, I could see peace. I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this, yeah. I could see peace instead of this, and I could see peace instead of this, and I could see love instead of this, and I could see peace. Right now I'm declaring it, I'm knowing it. Oh, instead of this, yeah. Every day I'm gonna choose it. When it gets crazy, when I'm listening to the news, I'm just gonna see that peace. 'Cause I know it, I claim it, I have it, I want it, I am it, I'm being it right now. I can have it, yeah. Oh, I can have it now, yeah. I could see peace.
Thank you, Karen. That's some good stuff. I always love your music. So on this auspicious Mother's Day, I am actually broadcasting from my mother's house. I grew up in Los Angeles, and my mom still lives in the house that they bought when I was 6 months old. And this particular room used to be the garage. It got converted when I was a teenager. And it was our hangout room, our study room. We didn't use it like for many years. And a couple of years ago, we have gone in and cleaned it up and are starting to use it again. So I am literally at home. 3 generations of kids have grown up at this property, and there's actually 3 generations living here now. So I know a little bit about continuity. Yes, I do. And I'm grateful for that. Our theme this month is abundance. And my topic today, in honor of Mother's Day, is my life bears fruit. My life bears fruit. You know, every week we give an offering. These are affirmative activations. They're not just words. They are states of consciousness that if we say them enough, we embody them. There's something that takes hold within us that shifts our vibratory pattern so that we are actually calibrated up to their meaning. These affirmations are things for us to do, but most especially, they are for us to be. They're on the screen. And I invite you in this moment right now to say the affirmations with me. Everything grows and multiplies, each after its own kind. There is always something germinating and gestating within me. I am conscious of what is being cultivated in my consciousness. I take the time to nurture the concepts I want to flourish. I create the space to release what is complete and does not serve. I keep myself as precious soil, fresh and fertile. The garden of my life bears good fruit. I live a sustainable life, receiving the best. I give back to the universe the best that has been given me. I circulate my blessings to continue to bless. Let's just breathe that in for a moment. You know, one of the most important things is just our intention. And use these activations, use affirmations. You will find them on our website. You will find them there posted on Facebook. These or other ones. Cultivate the fertile soil of your mind and set your intention. The intention is the place where we bring it all together, where our thoughts and our words and our actions and our emotions, they all come into accord with one another, where we stop being at cross purposes. It's where we clean up our motivations. It's where we're using the processes that are consistent with where it is that we want to go. That's our job. That's our job to do. We don't have to worry about all the supply. We just have to up the demand. Up the demand so that there's nothing in our consciousness that will entertain a why not me or why it can't be so. Just breathe that in. And you know, a wonderful way to do affirmation, a wonderful way to repeat something often enough so that it gets down into your soul, is music. It's music. And our guest today, Karen Drucker, is the queen. She is the queen of the positive chance of saying those things that can get way, way, way down in your soul and in your being. She has lots of offerings that we'll tell you about before we leave our service today. We were chatting before we got started, and I was asking Karen where she was raised, and turns up we're basically in the same kind of neck of the woods in LA. But you shared a really sweet story with me about how you got started and a little bit about what this is to have people who have nurtured us and essentially mothered us along the way.
Yeah,
so Karen, will you bless us with another song and a little bit of your story?
Yeah, thanks, Deborah. So, I grew up in Los Angeles, in Laurel Canyon, in Hollywood, actually. And where I grew up was Laurel Canyon was kind of a hippie place. And there were a lot of rock stars that were living there, but not really rock stars. They were just kind of hippies, you know. And so I was the resident babysitter for all the kids on my street. And I'm 14 years old. I have acne, braces, and I'm straightening my hair. And wouldn't you know that Carole King, the musician, singer-songwriter Carole King, moves on my street. And I just march up to her door, knock on the door. Hi there, I babysit for all the kids. Can I babysit yours? And she was like, well, sure. So I became her babysitter for many years of her two smaller children. And this is how I know spirit works, because I was a competitive swimmer at that point. I had no musical training. I had no interest. I mean, I loved music, but she plops into my life, changes my life, becomes this mother figure for me. And actually, she was going to remodel her house, and she needed to store her piano for a few months. And she knew I wanted to learn how to play piano. I came home, and here was her piano in my bedroom. And so that was how Spirit said, okay, we're going to make a shift in your life here. And I started to teach myself how to play piano and write songs. And the thing that was amazing is she said, it doesn't matter how well you sing, because back then I couldn't sing really well at all. She said, if you write your own songs, you can sing. You could just get out there and sing your own songs, because it doesn't matter. It's the message that you're delivering. And so she was one of the first people in my life that became like a second mother to me, that really nurtured me, got my hair cut. She took me down to her hairdresser and said, we've got to do something to this girl. So I got my hair cut like hers. And she was really influential. And I would have to say that my piano playing and my songwriting really came from her. And when I started on the New Thought path and learned all about taking affirmations and putting them to music, it really changed my life. So let me teach you one of my favorite affirmation songs. This is what it's about, receiving, just receiving. So here's how it goes. I'll teach it to you once. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time, just a little bit. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. So that's the key. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine. Try it now. I do believe I will receive. I will receive. I just have to know. I just have to know and then declare it to be so. And then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. Got it? Breathe that in. We're declaring it now. Anything you want. I do believe, I do believe. I will receive. I will receive. I just have to know. I just have to know. And then declare it to be so with an open mind. With an open mind. Just a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe. I do believe. I will receive. Open your arms, receive. Just have to know. Just have heart. To know. And then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it is mine. Then it is mine. I do believe. I do believe. I will receive. I will receive. I just have to know. Just have to know. And then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. Yeah, yeah. If it serves my highest good, then it is mine. I do believe. I will receive. It's like, I just have to know. And then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time. Serves my highest good. If it serves my highest good, then it is mine now. Anything I want, it is mine. You sing that line now. Anything I want, it is mine. How about some perfect health? You could use that. It is mine. You say perfect health. It is mine. How about some joy and peace? Yeah, it is mine. Talk about joy and peace. Yeah, it is mine. Declare, say, love, love, love. It is mine. Love, love, love. It is mine. Here's the bottom line now. If it serves my highest good, it is mine. Yeah. If it serves my highest good, it is mine. Last time now. If it serves my highest good, it is mine. So it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Karen. That's just good stuff. Just let that settle in someplace. I do believe, because whatever it is, I declare it to be so, and so it is for me. This theme this month is abundance. And our topic today is My Life Bears Fruit. I want to do a little shout out to everybody who's coming in from wherever it is that you are around the nation, around the globe, whether you're looking at us live, whether you're coming in later. My Innerlight community, as so many places are around right now, sheltering in place, not going inside our sanctuary. So you're looking at me, but I'm representing so many other people. And I know I miss our choir and our extraordinary band, and I'm sure that you do too. And, hopefully it won't be long before we're able at least to go back into the sanctuary to do our broadcasting from there, even if there's nobody else in the room. There was a meme actually that Pam sent me that just really tickled me. It was a photo of this big sanctuary, and there were different kind of big life-size dolls and beings. They were different kinds of like characters and creatures, and they were spaced out, like big, deep social distancing. And the caption said something like, "For the pastor when he needs a little inspiration while live streaming." I thought that was cute. But, we are in the midst of a global pandemic, and it is impacting our lives in ways that we won't even know. As I said, there's no going back, but there's forward. And whatever it is that you're up against, whatever it is that you're dealing with, perhaps it's a quiet time of respite for you. Perhaps you're pulling your hair out homeschooling. Perhaps you're wondering how you're going to make it, just put food on the table because you've lost your job. Perhaps you've caring for somebody that's ill or struggling with illness yourself. I can go on and on for the different things that are taking place. But just because we're not able to be in close proximity together, don't disconnect. Don't disconnect. Because you can't have social contact doesn't mean that you have to completely be apart from other people. So reach out, find some way to say I love you, find some way to still get spiritual support. Innerlight is offering things. There are a lot of things that are going on. I'm appreciating the creativity that I'm seeing out there and the ways in which people are coping and finding new kind of ways to express themselves and to be in community. And I encourage you to keep it up. My life bears fruit. We often think of ourselves as entities, as separate, distinct beings in the universe, individuals. We have this feeling that life is happening at us or life is happening to us, but we're really not. We're energetic beings, and life is happening through us. It's happening through us. And I think of myself sometimes, and I think of all of us in a very organic way, literally like trees. Like trees. Whenever you see a tree, that tree comes from some other seed that's grown, each after its own kind. And then that tree bears fruit. and it keeps on going. And whether it's biological or not, it doesn't matter. Everything about us bears fruit. There's nothing that stays within you. Just think about that for a moment. There's nothing that stays within you. Every thought that you think, every feeling, every expression, everything that happens goes out into the universe. And here's the part that just we forget about sometimes. It multiplies. It multiplies. There was a poem, and I think it's called Drop a Pebble in the Water. And I can't remember all of it, but I remember learning it as a child about drop a pebble in the water. In a moment you forget. But there are tiny ringlets flowing and ripples happening yet. And they're circling, forever as they go. And like whatever they wind up, whatever it happens, it's like, you'll never know. And it goes on to say, and perhaps in some sad heart, you've started something. So be careful. Be careful with that word that you drop today. Everything continues on. And this is such good news. It's also such good news because it means that every blessing, every smile, every act of rejoicing, every victory, every new revelation, it has a rippling effect. It just keeps going on in the universe. And there's this synergy that happens. When like energies come together, they multiply even more. They multiply even more. So if you have one person thinking it, you get a certain result. If you have two people, you get a stronger result. 3 or 4 people, and the synergy is where it magnifies. That's a very different definition of synergy, where the sum total is greater than the parts. So if you have 3 people working on it, it isn't just like 3 people. The effort that you get out of it, it's as though it's 6 or 7 people. This swings both ways, though. It swings both ways. So think about those things that you're putting out there in the universe that you really don't even want to see. It's multiplying and it's coming back. Everything ripples and it circles back. It ripples and it circles back. And the first person that it comes back to is you. It's you. Sometimes it feels like our life is just going around in circles. Like we just keep coming up against the same old thing, over and over and over again. And then we get frustrated. Why am I up against this thing again? Didn't I handle this? I thought this would never happen to me again. Oh, I worked so hard not to be here. What's going on? Life circles. That's the way that it does. But it doesn't have to be a loop-de-loop. It can be a spiral where we keep coming back to the same issues at higher and higher levels, bringing greater levels of awareness each time we come to it. I know I'm grateful because I had the opportunity to be nurtured as a child. Not everybody has that opportunity. It doesn't mean that every moment was happy. There's all the teenage angst and all the things that are just part of life. I don't need to go into all like my family drama. But I was really, really fortunate to be raised literally by a village. And as an African American, I'm of that generation where the women who were educated, the generation above me, so many of them were teachers. They were teachers, they were nurses, because to be honest with you, there weren't a lot of options that were available for them. So in addition to that, my own personal family were educators. That's our family trade. So I grew up around a lot of people who were constantly teaching me. So I grew up with this understanding that everything was a lesson. Shopping in the store was a lesson. Everything was made into a teaching moment. And so it is with life, that everything that goes on is a teaching moment for us. And if we go through life with that as an expectation, and if we go through life as a good student, ready to show up for class, ready to learn the lessons, not being upset how they come, how they're camouflaged, and most especially, who's the teacher? Let that sink in for a moment. Because our teachers are not just people. Circumstances are teachers. Conditions are teachers. And if we really look back at it, we will find that some of our greatest moments of growth have come in our toughest times. They've come in the times that we didn't even like, or the times that we didn't even want. But you know what? Fruit was growing there. I don't care what's going on in your life right now. It's bearing some fruit. And it is some fruit that can be of value to you or value to somebody else. What it means, though, is that we can't stand in judgment of it. I had a really good example of that yesterday, talking about bearing fruit. So I'm going to bust myself right now. So I roll in here late into Los Angeles to the family home. Must have arrived about 10:30, something like that p.m. So it's dark. I'm staying out here in the back studio, and I really couldn't see the yard. So yesterday on Saturday, and I took a look at the yard, and my heart just said, "Ooh!" It was dug up. All the perimeter was dug up. Even the fountain that stays in the stone fountain in the middle of the yard, it's dug up. Even the little extra tree areas that are, like have bricks around it. All that stuff was dug up. My dad's peach trees and his orange trees and all of his roses and everything was like dug up. It's like, like, what the heck? Those are my fondest memories of my dad. He loved his garden. I mean, the man loved his garden. And it used to be a joke around the family. My mother would go and cut the flowers. And she'd go and take them to other people. And he would be upset because he knew each and every flower. They were like, oh, it was like you stole his children. He'd go out there, and their flower was gone. And she's like, well, Raymond, why are you growing these flowers if you're not going to give them away? And he would look at her and say, when God made the garden, he didn't fill it with a bunch of people. And that was his position. And I had all this judgment. So then I go and I ask, and somebody tells me in the house, oh, your brother's going to plant vegetables. And I was like, huh? And they said, yeah, he's going to do this thing and this thing and this thing and that thing. And I thought, Huh. Well, that's a worthy cause. The hydroponic tables, gardening tables that he had are still stacked there. Some wild critters or whatnot in the neighborhood kept eating the fish. So he wasn't able to keep that going, the fish that stay in the tank. And it was such a good lesson. As I was sitting there yesterday in this sense of the abundance and how life bears fruit. So I got to sit in the grief of my father's garden and the landscape that I had known for most of my life. While I also got to sit in the fact that this is fertile soil. And when I did finally have a chance to talk to my brother about it, who lives here now, he just was kind of joking. He wasn't feeling about dad's grief and all the rest that he said, well, as long as there's stuff here, might as well be something we can eat. Like, well, you do have a point there. And with some of those fruit trees, they were kind of iffy sometimes whether or not you could actually eat it. Life bears fruit. And it was such this example of even in the midst of it right now. I don't know what that is that's going on in your life. I don't know what that is that you're mourning, that you're grieving, that it's shifting and it's changing, and it's not the way that it used to be. But you know what? Room is being made for something else. For something else that will bear fruit. It may be literally like I'm talking about here, but more metaphorically. That your life is always bringing forth something else. And don't be afraid. I admire my brother in this. Because if it'd been me, I probably would never have disrupted and disturbed my father's garden in honor of him. And my brother saw new possibilities and was willing to take that risk. And it was very instructive to me of be in the now. Live now. My dad's bougainvillea, though, full on, going down the trellises, which is a sweet reminder. But whatever that is in your life, know that it's okay. There's seasons, there are times. It's okay to honor the past. Don't get stuck in it. Let the fresh and the new come forth. And no matter what you may be thinking about how you were nurtured through life, you nurture. You nurture. I'm going to end with this lesson that I learned. This was years ago. It was probably early 90s. And I was channel surfing, and Barbara Bush was on the television at the time when she was First Lady. And I remembered all the ruckus because she had been selected as the commencement speaker for Wellesley College, one of the Ivy League women's colleges back east. There was a lot of upset brouhaha. They were like, what has she done? And why should she be the commencement speaker? Blah, blah, blah. So, honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the Bushes. So this is probably the only time that I actually listened to it. It was something said, listen, just listen. And she did this wonderful speech. And I never forget this one thing that she said. She said to everybody there, she said, take the time to have a life. She said, because in the final analysis, at that last moment on your deathbed, basically, you won't be worried about that deal that you didn't cut or that extra money that you didn't make. You won't even be worried about the love you didn't receive. The only thing that's going to be on your mind is the love you did not give. And I can tell you that's the truth, because I have been there bedside. It's find my daughter, find my sister. It's I love you. I love you. It's the love that you don't give. That's what's going to matter most. And then I loved it. At the end, she said about careers, and you could do this thing and that thing. And she says, and perhaps one of you might choose the path that I chose and become the spouse of the President of the United States. And I wish him well. And I was like, go on, Barbara Bush. Yes, 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 yes. Let's just breathe that in. We choose in this moment not to die with the music still in us. We choose in this moment to be an open vessel, an open vehicle of love, of nurturing. Life has brought us here. We continue to nurture life. We call forth the wholeness and the integration, the fulfillment. No more longing, but living. We give thanks in this moment for mothers and that energy of mothering. We give thanks for that sacred work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And anything that we've been harboring in our heart that needs to be cleaned up or cleared up, let it be so.
Let it go. Let it go.
I speak a word of forgiveness.
Let it go.
Reconciliation.
Let it go.
Our life bears fruit. Good fruit. We reseed the best. Oh, in this moment right now, our hearts are filled with gratitude.
I'm so grateful.
Father God, Spirit Almighty, for having brought us from such a mighty, mighty long way.
So grateful.
And yet we know it's still just the beginning. Thank you for coming through His healing of the body temple as sustenance, that bread for our needs from day to day. We give thanks for the reconciliation the opportunities that are opening before we even knew those doors were there to be knocked on.
Thank you.
We thank you for all of the ways in which you are rearranging not only our individual lives, but our whole global community.
Thank you.
Reordering our steps so that we are more sustainable, more balanced, more global community. Order our steps. All need.
Say thank you.
This is our prayer. We know that it's good. We get out of the way. We allow it to be. And so it is. Amen and amen. Can you cap us off with a little something, something, Karen?
Sure. Actually, when you were speaking, I have a chant I wrote a while ago. Everything that happens, happens for me, and everything that happens, happens for me, and everything that happens, happens for me. Everything is for my highest good. Let me teach you a new song. I open my heart always knows. I open my heart and drop into my soul. I open my heart always knows. My heart always knows, yeah. My heart always knows. Sing that with me now. I open my heart always knows. I open my heart and drop into my soul. I open my heart always knows. My heart always knows, yeah. My heart always knows. Sing that with me one more time. I open my heart always knows. I open my heart and drop into my soul. I open my heart always knows. My heart always knows. My heart always knows.
I'm talking about bearing fruit and reseeding. I invite you now to participate in this moment of divine circulation. It's this time where we allow ourselves to be part of the great giving of life. There are lots of ways to do it. If you're online right now, if you're on our website, there's donate buttons you can push right there. PayPal.me/Innerlight Ministries. See it on your screen. If you'd like to be one who helps this ministry sustain, give a monthly contribution, something you count on and know that you're there. I give monthly to, I don't know, maybe a dozen organizations or so, just so that they know that I'm with them and they can have something that they can count on. And in this moment right now, the online is literally just what we have to work with. So we appreciate that. If you want to text to give, you can do it at 831-667-5051. It's 831-667-5051.
831-667-5051. Do it again. 831-667-5051. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for making that plain. PayPal.me/Innerlight Ministries. And I say thank you to everybody who has been giving online. Thank you for those of you who've been tithing some of your stimulus check money back to us. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Just a couple of brief announcements before I have Karen help us close out of here. Our food pantry is open. This is Thursday afternoons at noon. There's lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and packaged goods. We push out literally a few thousand pounds worth of food. Anybody can come. It's open to the public. Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m., that's Pacific Daylight Time, we have an ongoing coffee chat. It's a prayer, time of inspiration. It's hosted by our Innerlight practitioners. Check out there on our website or there online for the link there on Facebook. The WOW group, the Women of Wisdom, these are women who are 60 plus, are meeting every Thursday now via Zoom. That's 4:30 p.m. Once again, this is Pacific Daylight Time. You can contact Kathy Miles at SC, like for Santa Cruz, SC Smiles at Comcast.net. We're a praying community. We are a praying community. You can get prayers on the telephone. You can get them online. You can email us for the number prayer, the number 4 prayer at innerlightministries.com, or you can call in at 831-465-9090 at extension 250. Like this, share it. It'll be on YouTube, it'll be on Facebook, it'll be on our website. Next week, we are pleased to have Nadine Risha with us as our musical inspiration. And if you didn't get enough Karen, you can see her tonight. She will be part of the Centers for Spiritual Living Cozy Couch Concert Series. That's happening at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And I'm sure you want to just rock and move, groove in her mellow stuff. That's tonight online with Centers for Spiritual Living. Karen, please take us on.
How about this? God is my source. Yeah, God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, yeah, for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. That's the whole thing right there. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Let's go to love. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. For all my blessings. God gives me everything. Let's declare some peace, shall we? Peace is my source. My power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. All right, let's go back to God now. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, yeah, for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Go back to that line. God gives me everything, everything I need. God gives me everything. When you don't know how to pay your bills, God gives me everything. Everything I need, God gives me everything. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything, everything. I'm talking about everything, everything I need. Everything.
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 So as we close out of here, I just want to acknowledge my own mother, Dolores Johnson. Who quite frankly may not be here next Mother's Day. And there's so many things that I could say, and thank you for raising me in the church, which I resented so much. I used to complain because we were always there. I grew up Pentecostal. We were always at church, and she was president of the Women's Christian Council for at least 45 years or something like that. A real woman of faith. I grew up around people of great faith. I used to joke with her and say, "You don't even have any friends. All your friends are at the church." And like a plaque I saw that says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, I am my mother after all." So thank you, Mom. You done good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, deep, deep, deep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So you take that time today to find some kind of way to acknowledge the nurturance that you've received. Pass it on. The world needs it. Take this consciousness and multiply it. Peace and blessings to you.